Oh, there's a lot of truth in this one, but some of y'all gonna be mad. It's okay. Chew the meat, spit the bones. Let's get into it.
Ryan Little.
If women are destroying their sons, they are not doing it alone. Where are the fathers? That's what I say. What's up, y'all? We are talking today about an article that came out some time ago. I did a video on Bigo, excuse me, on Bigo regarding this, and I had hundreds of people in attendance that were captivated by the topic. So the article says, ways single mothers destroy their sons. And I have a bonus son. I don't have a biological son. I pushed out a girl, but I have two bonus children. So I have a bonus son. And so there were some things that I could see as being accurate or not even accurate, that could be relevant to even our parenting dynamic. Being a bonus mom and my husband having children before we got married. But as the mother, a custodial parent, there were still some places where I was able to say, ouch. Okay. So let's get right into it. Ways single mothers destroy their sons. The most toxic environment for boys growing up is a single mother household. That is a stretch, I'll say. I can tell readers from personal experience that boys don't get all their needs met in a single parent household. That I will agree. Neither do girls. Many of the lessons they learn in that hostile territory growing up make them into lost, confused men with no defined sense of identity. Now, that's pretty deep. Is it applicable to every single parent household? Hell no. There are some kick butt single parent mothers that do the best they can with their sons, and their sons turn out to be respectful, productive citizens of society. To that end, there are still going to be some voids within that man or the boy that lives inside of that man when dad is not there. So I understand that we can walk and chew gum. You can disagree with two different points of view at the same time. Or you can agree with one or agree partially and not agree totally. So we're not monosyllabic in thinking over here, right? So I do believe that unfortunately there are some very hostile environments. I have seen them where mom has been hurt because dad hurt her. Dad made a promise to be with her or whatever, or she thought that giving of herself in such a way would result in him wanting to be with her, and that just wasn't the case. Sometimes that breeds a bitterness that carries over into the household. That's where that hostility can come from. Sometimes the dude is just a gutter butt, and that's what he does. He goes around making babies. He got hood twins, and he's proud of it, and he's not taking care of them, and she ain't had no business getting with him anyway. And that way she will be responsible, right? It takes two. but we're not going to totally point the finger at one and not hold the other accountable. But today, for a moment, I ask that you take this ride with me. If you are a single parent or you know a single parent woman, take this ride with me. Chew the meat, spit the bones. If it applies, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. If it applies, say ouch. Make the corrections, do better. If you see these characteristics in someone that you call a friend, a sister, or cousin, call them in. Don't call them out. Call them in and say, look, sis, look, cuz, look, friend. That's not cool. Don't talk like that in front of your son or whatever the case may be. Okay? So let's take this ride together. Let's take this journey together. Okay. How does a single mom destroy her sons? Let me count the ways. So they have several ways listed here. Speaking negatively about their father. This happens to be one that I agree with. If a parent speaks negatively about the other parent, it does something to the child's self-esteem. That goes both ways. I'll use my own scenario. My mom and dad separated. They never divorced, but they at one point could not stand each other. I had to tell them, y'all know that I'm a fighter. If someone tried to talk about mom or dad, it was a rumble. Like, it was going down. Those were fighting words. You couldn't say your mom this, that, and the other. I didn't do your mama jokes, and you couldn't call me a B. I didn't play those games growing up. So I had to tell both my parents, if anyone else on the street were to talk about mom or dad, it would be a fight. It's not fair for y'all to do this. I have my voice. Everyone doesn't. Some children are suffering hearing mom talk negatively about dad, sometimes to a girlfriend, to auntie, to sister, to cousin, whomever, and they're overhearing it, and sometimes they're hearing it directly. That can negatively affect their self-esteem. So this is what the article said. Most damaging thing a mother can do is speak badly about the child's father in front of them. These negative statements about the child's father are the equivalent to hitting the child with a fist in the jaw. I believe that. Because children then say, well, what am I? If my dad is a loser, if my dad is a lowlife, if my dad is homeless, if he's a crackhead, if he's a junkie, a drug addict, or if he's all those things, then what am I? Like, darn, why do they have a dad that's an engineer, or they have a dad that's a doctor or a lawyer, and my dad's a crackhead? It's not a good look, ladies. So scratch that one, right? So we don't even need to go into the other part of this, but I will. One half of that child is the father. And when he hears his mother say negative things about him, the boy grows up doubting himself. They think that there's something wrong with them. Basically just what I said. They need to change a part of themselves or get approval of his angry mother. So they're thinking that they don't want to remind mom of dad in any way. That's unfair. They may look just like dad. So every time mom looks at them, she's going to spew venom. No, we can't do that, ladies. And it's these identity issues. It's these identity issues usually cause him, somebody wrote this wrong, usually cause him to resolve to not be like his father. It's the identity issues that cause the boy to hate himself. Okay, so basically what I said, it's not a good look. We want to stay away from that. Saying negative things about men in general is number 2. This one, thanks to their failed relationship with the child's father, many single mothers have a subconscious hatred of men. Meaning, I myself, this is one of the ones that I said ouch to. I wasn't a parent then, thank God. But I remember saying all men cheat, all men are dogs, this, that, and the other. And I used to say those things when I was communicating with my girlfriends. I was talking to single girlfriends who had been cheated on or dogged out or whatever. And so that was our belief at the time. Imagine saying these things in the presence of my child, and my child is hearing this or saying them to my child. They express hatred about every man they come in contact with. They say things like, that no good ninja, or men ain't ish, or doing things like avoiding male cashiers or salesmen, or speaking negatively about male acquaintances have a profound impact on children, especially boys. I believe this to be true. It's no different than a man hating a black woman, a black man saying, I'm not going to date black women. I hate them. They loud. They this, they that. They this, they that. If he has a black daughter, what is she thinking? I don't want to be all those things that daddy says black women are. Right? So this was one of those things that I'm blessed that when I was guilty of saying them, I wasn't a parent. But even I had to say ouch to this one. Hearing these negative statements and seeing these actions about men and regarding men make little boys afraid of embracing their masculinity and their male identity. I'm not a man, so I can't say that, but that could be true. So if mom hates men, and boys want mom's affection much like girls want dad's attention, right? So every little girl wants to be daddy's baby girl. Every boy, mom is their first love. But if mom speaks so negatively about men, could that make that young man say, I don't even want to be like that. I don't even want to be a man no more. That's the extreme, right? But how do they reconcile that within themselves to make sure that they're not like the no good ninja that mom talks about? One of the easiest ways to turn a boy into a mangina is to have him constantly hear numerous negative statements about men from his mother. When a boy hears that a mother hates men, he resolves not to be like them, which is simply self-hatred. I believe there's some truth to that too. Again, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But some of you listening to this have actually sat in front of your sons and spewed venom about his mother and about his father and vice versa. But we're talking to the ladies today. Some of you are guilty of this, and some of you know sisters that are guilty of this. And if they are your sisters, your friends, your sister friends, your cousins, your nieces, your aunts, or whatever, it's time to have a conversation, especially while the children are young. Teaching their sons to disrespect their father's authority. I think this is one of the most undermining thing a woman can do that impacts not just her son, but society. And here's why. My thought is just the way that I wanted the construct of my household to be. And I knew of growing up. My dad was, his word was the word, right? So if ever my mom, now she didn't do this, thank God, she couldn't stand him, but she didn't do this. But if ever she said, you don't have to listen to him. So no, you listen to me. He doesn't have anything. No. No, no, no. It should be a collaboration, whether you're together or not. Dad should be saying, let me talk to my wife, or let me talk to your mom. Mom should be saying, let me talk to dad. Depending on what the decision is. But teaching them to disrespect their dad's authority is saying a whole different thing. That's saying that dad does not have any reign here. It's like castrating him. Okay? But let's see what they say. One of the most dangerous things single mothers indirectly teach their children is to disrespect their male authority. By making negative statements about their child's father, dismissing things he says, and telling them to disregard his instruction, she teaches her children to have no respect for male authority and to have no regard for males in charge. This we see, and I've talked to educator after educator after educator. It is playing out in our schools tremendously. Our neighborhood schools are not failing solely because of funding. A lot of our neighborhood schools are failing because there is a lack of parenting in the household, or there is a toxic environment in the household and the children are out of control. A lot of times the boys have anger because they don't know how to express not seeing dad, not having dad around, or hearing mom say all of these negative things, right? Even seeing mom abused by dad or a boyfriend. That builds anger. And sometimes at a young age, the boy doesn't even know what it is that he's feeling, but they're acting out. I have visited plenty of classrooms where they wave at me. They know who I am when I walk through the hallways. The kids, hi, such and such parent. I keep my baby's name and all that confidential. Hi, blank's parent. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Like everybody, the assistant principal, the teachers, the kids. I've made my presence known, but I've sat in classrooms where the boys were so disruptive that the teacher couldn't teach. Put your shoes on. Get off my desk. Where you going? Don't go in the hallway. Do this, do that. It was impossible for the teacher to teach. My daughter said, Mommy, I have to have a conversation with the teacher. I can't learn. I said, no, that's my job. So I went up to the school multiple times. It resulted in me pressing the principal because the principal told me there's no problem. No, there's a problem. Well, when I come to the class, it's quiet. Are you that foolish? Of course the class gets quiet when the principal comes. So I said, well, since you feel that there's no problem, then you sit in class with my child's math class, because my child is not going to fail. But I will tell you this. You have it was 7th grade, all of the 7th grade boys that are subject to failing. I'll share this story really quickly because it ties into this. Not knowing what this person's household was like. Young boy comes to school, wanted to learn. My daughter said he was eager to learn every day, pencil, paper ready, like excited, raising his hand, asking questions, never got called on for a question because the teacher was constantly correcting these disruptive boys, right? The boy eventually puts his pencil down, pushes away from the desk, and he becomes part of the disruption. If we lose our boys in 7th grade math, they're not going to be able to do 8th grade math. And they will likely drop out of 9th grade, period, because they feel that they just can't keep up. So there is a responsibility on us as parents to be engaged, to check in with them. How's class going? What do you think of your teacher? What's the classroom setting like? It was such a refreshing thing for me to get my daughter out of this particular school and into a school with scholars, where she said, Mommy, I can learn now. Like, it's so peaceful. We still have fun, but it's peaceful because it's a whole different mindset. The parent that takes the time to seek out the best school for their children are the parents that are involved, that care. The parents that are producing these children that don't respect male authority, they doing whatever. Some of you ladies have to say ouch on this. Some of you are your head is messed up because your relationship went left. Some of you trying to find another relationship. Some of you trying to just live your best life. Some of you trying to be a socialite because you watch too much reality TV and you got to hit every spot, every party, whatever, and not focusing on the parenting. Some of you don't have the communication skills to check in with your children because no one checked in with you. There is a multitude of reasons why. But this reason here, disregarding male authority, is dangerous. It is dangerous. Because a boy will tell a male teacher, I don't have to listen to you. Why? Because if I don't have to listen to him, you ain't my father. And if I don't have to listen to or respect my father, then who are you? Respect starts at home. These children have to be taught to respect mom and dad. It starts at home. So if we're allowing them to disrespect the other, we're doing them a big disservice. One of the things I loved about my husband is when my bonus son would say bad things about his mother in our presence. My husband said, if I ever catch you talking negative about your mom, I'm going to drop you on your tailbone. Now that was a really strange and odd threat to me until I broke my tailbone. But I said to my husband, I said, drop you on your tailbone? Where'd you get that? He said, you ever break your tailbone? I said, no. He said, oh, okay then. You better hope you don't want to. But while he was teaching, you better not, mom was saying, you don't have to respect him. But he stayed the course because of how he was raised, because of the cloth he was cut from. And he made certain that you, on my watch, you ain't gonna be talking about your mom, especially negatively. It's not gonna happen. Men have to step up. Men have to step up and be men. And ladies, you cannot allow for a situation where your son does not have to respect the authority of his father. That should be your threatening tool. Don't make me call your father, even if y'all not together. Don't make me call your father. That should be, not you don't have to listen to him. And if he's that much of a loser, why were you laying down with him? Ask yourself that question. Boom. I just made somebody mad. Where would I leave off here? Most mothers think that getting back at dad, most mothers think they're getting back at dad by doing this, but they don't see the long-term damage they do teaching their sons to have contempt for their fathers. Boys growing up to disrespect their fathers have no respect for other men in authority positions or society. So that boy that doesn't respect authority, he gets pulled over by a police officer. That might not be a police officer intending to be this bull that's about to go on trial. I ain't even gonna say his name. He ain't worthy of it on my channel. But it could be a black male police officer stopping a black male driver, a young male driver. But if he's disrespectful, aggressive, belligerent, okay, now it's going to turn into something else. Can we step out the car? Are you high or are you crazy? Because where's the respect? See, I was raised, you turn your radio down, you say yes, okay, can you tell me what I did wrong? You ask the questions. You don't have to be passive, but you can do it respectfully. Everyone deserves respect. The problem is there are some officers who can't tolerate disrespect, and that can escalate a situation. And that's what I'm speaking to. Not getting that doesn't give that officer a pass. It just says that your son could potentially exacerbate a situation unnecessarily if he has no respect for authority. There's a saying that I was raised, sorry, ignorance of the law doesn't excuse you from the law. That I was taught that early. So you cannot be just disrespectful to men in general and not expect to be checked. That's why you have so many young men that don't want to hear, back up off me, old head. They will shoot old head for trying to tell them, look, youngin, get off the street, get off the corner, get out the way, show some respect. There is no respect because he don't respect dad. So to him, you know better than you the no good ninja. You understand what I'm saying? That translates over. Why am I getting so many messages? Excuse me. So that translates over. The next one. Projecting anger at the father onto the son. It is not common for a single mother to go into an angry rant when, I think they wanted to say it's not uncommon, to go into an angry rant when their son does something wrong or makes a mistake when they disagree with her. Oftentimes, she's venting the rage she feels about the child's father at the son. So I think they miswrote that. It's not uncommon for mom to kind of go into a rage because she's kind of reflecting like, oh, you are a particle of him. Well, what does that mean to the son? I told my mom and dad, y'all slept with each other. It was good for y'all then. Leave me out of it. I might have been about 12. I was a little sassy. But really, oftentimes she's venting the rage she feels about the child's father. Statements like, you're going to grow up to be just like your no good daddy, hit boys like fists. Oftentimes these emotional abusive blows knock boys down for the count emotionally before they become men. Ooh. How many of you need to say ouch there? Because I know women that I know they love their sons, but they do stuff like this. I don't think they truly understand the impact of saying you're going to be just like your no good daddy. There's people that's saying you're going to be a jailbird, you're going to be this, you're going to be that, and you're putting a negative on your son. Don't put those coats on your babies. Don't do that. Don't put them on your nephews, your grandbabies, none of that. Don't do that. It scars them. Trust me. I know. I used to hang out with the fellas. I was considered one of the fellas. I've heard plenty of them mention how they were scarred by being called jailbirds and you're going to be like your no good daddy and all of it. It scars them. Stop it. These hostile and negative statements from single mothers can force boys to withdraw socially and erect emotional walls. These walls prevent these boys from connecting with others and forming healthy relationships when they get older. it is close to impossible. If you build a wall to protect yourself, you're also blocking yourself in from receiving the love that you deserve. Say it again. If you build walls to protect yourself, you're also blocking yourself from receiving the love that you deserve. These boys are building walls because their moms are projecting this anger from dad. And dad, you're not off the hook. You can't just go and have a baby with this one and that one and this one and that one and not think that it's going to impact us. You are breaking us. Some of us are broken. There's no woman on the planet, I believe, that just has a baby and wants to abuse the baby verbally and break their spirit intentionally. I don't believe that. But could there be some women that are unintentionally doing this? I know this to be true. So there will be women that will get in the comments and say, oh, this is BS. I know this was written by a man, this, that, and other. I don't care who it was written by. I'll tell you who the author is when I'm done. But what I will say is there is some truth here. And where you find truth, there's knowledge. So chew the meat, spit the bones. Use what you can use to make yourself better. Spit out the rest, okay? Not allowing the father to see them. Okay. Ladies, we're going to pause on this one. Let's have a moment of silence. I don't care if he's not paying child support. You do not get to keep a child from their father. If you think he's a physical threat or an emotional threat to your child, then you have some type of governed or supervised visitation. But that child has a right to see their father. And guess what? He can love dad and you too. He doesn't have to choose. He can love both of you. He won't just love dad and forget you. If that's your fear, even if dad moved on and got married, no one can replace mom. He has enough love in his heart. Every child has enough love in their heart for both parents. Excuse me. As some of you know, I have not recorded here on this platform because I lost my mother. So my mom and my dad are both gone. I know my mom went to glory. My dad was a pistol. I would say, Daddy, where you going? He said, to hell if I don't pray. So I can only pray I'll see him again. But if they up there arguing and fighting, the guy handling them, I'm telling you, because my mom and dad both were pistols. But there were times, if I can be transparent, when dad told me he was coming, or my sister and I, he was coming to visit, he didn't come. That was heartbreaking. Who had to deal with that heartbreak? My mom. A mom seeing their children cry because dad didn't keep his word. So what did my mom do? She defamed him. No good, ninja. Y'all stupid for waiting on him again. And you know what I mean? And that thing just spins out of control. That's not good. We were hurt. My sister and I were hurt until my dad leveled up and bossed up in a big way. He came to me and my sister and said, I need to sit y'all down and apologize for every day I missed, for every time I said I was coming and I didn't come, I didn't call. All those times I need to apologize and ask your forgiveness. And you have my word, from this day forward, I will not miss nothing else. And he did not miss nothing else. Come hell or high water, my father was there from that day forward. That was healing for us that we needed. My mom didn't get it. She's like, y'all think he's a saint, this, that. No. And I'm so glad that before my mom was called to glory, I had a chance to tell her, Mom, I can imagine what you went through with Daddy. Because I remember Miss such and such. Why was Miss such and such when my daddy picking me up from school? Who is this lady that he all Joe familiar with and driving her car? So there was some stuff. I'm keeping it all the way real. Men, sometimes you break a woman, and if she is not directly connected to God in a way where she can pull down that peace and hold her tongue or bite her tongue till it bleeds in front of the children and maybe cry it out later. But if you have somebody that's a firecracker like my mom, and I can be sometime that you could just spew off at the moment, then you have this kind of stuff. But what you don't get to do is say, he didn't do this and he didn't jump through your hoops, or he didn't choose you because he cheated on you. You got hood twins. He didn't choose you, so you're not going to have my baby around that B. And then it's cut. There's a sister I know. I pray that she at some point watches this video. She's going to know I'm talking about her. I'm not putting her business out there, but she's going to know I'm talking about her. On her son's 21st birthday, she gave a shout out to his father. She said he's been incarcerated his whole life, but he was the best father she could have asked for her son. There was no excuses for him. He parented from jail. So what excuse do we have to not parent or not let our sons be with their fathers? It's a control thing. Now, let me say this. I'm overly protective, right? So if I know that the dude I had a child with is going to leave my child with just anyone, I may have a problem with that, right? If I know that he has a girlfriend who has older children and my child could potentially be molested, I have a problem with that too. Let me tell you how to avoid that. Get to know him before you have a baby. Get to know him first. I had to ask my husband, why haven't I met your son yet? We've been together 6 months. I haven't met your son. He said, because my son has never seen me with another woman other than his mother. And I haven't met your mother. But I flew you across the country to meet mine. So how do I know you're serious about me? I don't just have my son around everybody. Boom. That taught me what kind of man he was. He was seeing his son. He was paying tuition. I would be with him when we stopped at the school to pay tuition. I saw his son's name on his insurance card. He paid health insurance. He wasn't on child support. He was a father to his child, but didn't think that I was worthy of being around his child yet, because I didn't introduce him. I didn't let him into my world. So why would I let you into my most precious commodity? My husband and I have been together more than 20 years. He left our bonus son with me by myself for 1 hour in 20 years. And that was because I was going somewhere and he begged, can I please go with Miss Tish? This is when we were dating. This was before we got married. One time. So I had a security that if God forbid something happened and we weren't together, I feel comfortable with him taking our daughter. Because I know how he parents. He's overprotective like I am. He didn't have just any girl around around his son. So why would he just suddenly do that with his daughter? No, he's not that dude, but I knew that because I took my time. I also made sure I was married before I had his baby, so I got to learn even more about him and how he controlled himself. When he got mad, we needed to have an argument or two because everything was just too good, you know. So you got to take your time before having babies with these dudes. But you do not get to keep him from his father just because you're mad and you want dad to jump through your hoops. There's a video of a sister who was pissed that dad got the son, it might have been two boys, a haircut. Isn't that what a dad's supposed to do? I think I would be mad if my son was woofing and you sent him home without a haircut. But the little boy had a car. He was like, "Don't run this car on my car, baby. It's gonna scratch the car." Yeah, scratch it up, scratch it up. She's telling him, scratch it up. She's standing behind his car, preventing him from leaving. You're 5 minutes late. Why are you late? Da, 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 da. I was at the barbershop. I took the boys to the barbershop. She had a fit. Control. You are not the custodial parent. You have to ask me. Just crazy. Y'all know somebody like that, and it's some of y'all like that. Y'all need to cut that for real. For real. You can't complain about what's going on in the world when you are part of the problem if you keeping your child from the father and he's not a threat to the child. Period. You're causing your son to have a hole in his heart that doesn't need to be there. You're causing your son to say, why does my dad not want to be a part of my life? And he don't have to feel that. It's all you. But let's see what this author says. While things between a single mother and the child's father may have soured, the mother should never deny the father the right to see his child if he wants to see him. Now, you can't force him. But my philosophy, a present father is better than a check in the mail, a daddy in the mail any day. Kids need both parents, y'all. Sometimes mom is like, ah. We both parents in the house raising ours. And sometimes I'm, ah. And dad like, easy breezy, come here, baby. He loving her up. And when he like, she be like, something wrong with daddy, I know. Come here, baby. And I love her up. And we balance each other out that way. We're supposed to be together as family. That's why I'm doing this channel and my platform on Instagram too. This video is getting a little long, but it's necessary. We're supposed to be together as families. There are several more points, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this, and there's going to be, this is going to be a series, okay? That's how I'm going to do this, because I don't want this video to get too long, and I don't like to do too much editing to my videos. I want them to be real. Dish with Tish. Straight Talk TV is straight talk. I'm not doing a whole bunch of editing and all that. This is who I am. I talk with my hands. But we're going to stop at this point, but I'm going to finish this one here. Contrary to belief, most feminists and liberals, a woman cannot be a mother and a father to a boy. I don't care about the liberal, feminists, all that stuff. No. What I will say is on Father's Day, I hate to see a child give mom a Father's Day card. I would much rather see the child give mom a card of appreciation, because I do believe that she should be acknowledged for her work of being a single parent. And let me tell you this, if you have a father that wants to be in that child's life and is financially contributing and wants to be there, and you're pulling strings and wanting him to jump through your hoops, you're not a single parent. You're co-parenting, or you have the potential to co-parent, but you're choosing single parenthood. Understand that. Because everyone's quick to say they're a single parent. You don't have to be a single parent. I have a relative that they have split custody. He does ponytails for his daughter. He literally said, I had to put her hair in a ponytail so she don't look like she auditioning for Wakanda too. But he has her and takes her to school, and he's perfectly capable of doing that. And he should, because mom needs a break too. He needs to have that experience of taking her to school and picking her up and going to events. And mom does the same thing, and they do an excellent job at it. And they don't particularly care for each other anymore. But they co-parent well. They get it. And some of y'all need to get it too. So some of y'all, I ain't gonna call no names, but some of y'all choose or chose to be a single parent because that father wanted to be there and you denied him. It has nothing to do with liberal. And mom is not mom and dad. Mom is a bomb-ass mom. Excuse my language. Mom is a kick-ass mom. Mom is giving her all to be the best she can be, to fill the void. But she's not dad. She could never be dad. So stop with that. Stop with that. Let moms have Mother's Day. If on Mother's Days we start telling the men Happy Mother's Day, there's some single fathers out here. We're going to tell them Happy Mother's Day too. It's just going too far. Stop it. You have a great mother. She's not mom and dad. Don't feel compelled to do that. Okay, then it says, nor can she raise a boy to become a man. She cannot. Let me rewind. She can raise a boy to become a man, but he will have a void for not having his father. Let me stop that. I correct myself. I rescind that is what I want to say. A mom can raise a boy to become a man. There are plenty of mothers who have done it. College scholars. But that doesn't mean that they don't have a hole in their heart. That oftentimes a girlfriend or a wife has to help fill because mom was so venomous and bitter and hurt and disrespected. And sometimes with reason. Mom, I'm not saying moms don't have reasons to want to, but you have to somehow put that child first. Boys need that relationship with their father to gain a sense of themselves and to understand masculinity and male identity. Let me read that again. Boys need that relationship with their father to gain a sense of themselves and to understand their masculinity and male identity. I firmly believe we have a lot of boys running around acting like girls because they are only exposed to women. There's a certain way my husband moves when I'm like, he's real calm, like, whatever, gorgeous. Like he's not a man that's confident in himself. He's not, I'm the king of the castle, I run this. A man that beats on a woman, he is the lowest of the low, and he feels he got that hole. He got that hole. And he could have had dad around, but he could have had a toxic dad. So he still has a hole. A toxic dad, no dad, toxic mom, all of that damages the child. But understanding masculinity, what is a man, how you shake a hand, how you tie a tie, how you look another man in the eye, how you give your word when you shake your hand and you keep it. My dad used to say a man has his word in his balls. That's it. that's taught from man to man, not woman to man. How you treat a woman, how you put her on the inside of the sidewalk when you're walking down the street, how you open her car door even though you have the chirp chirp on your keychain. Those are things that men are supposed to teach their sons. How to mow a yard so you got the lines in the grass, right? How to clean a car, how to pump gas. Women can teach it, yes. But certain things are supposed to be taught by their dads. I believe that. I believe this one, y'all. Some of y'all ladies may get mad at me, but I believe this. Without that relationship, they often grow up lost and confused about their identity as a man. If you never see a man, how do you know how to be a man? My husband has a relative, a young lady that posted on social media, I want to date the men in my family. Why did she post that? Because the men in her family were raised properly. They were raised to know how to treat a woman. Why? Because they were raised by a pastor. Grandpa was a pastor, and he raised his sons, and his sons raised their sons. And all of us are protected, provided for, held to highest esteem, treated like queens, talked to respectfully. They're the best fathers to their children. They cut from a different cloth. But the dude she dating don't mimic that. So she said, I want to date one of the men in my family. That's huge. That we're going to talk a little later about our picker. We ladies, we have to do better with our picker. Got to do better with our picker. If that's what you want, then don't settle for anything less than that. If that's what you've been exposed to and you know what exists, then level yourself up so that you can attract that. Why boys can't answer these questions that only a father can answer. They take cues from hyper masculine images in media, from ideas from their peers, to fill in the empty space regarding what kind of man they should become. I believe that. I believe that. They craft in their heads. If you ever talk to a grown man that didn't have dad, that is willing to be honest about what that really felt like, if you hear like a group of men talking about it, it is heartbreaking. How they create an image of what he might look like. Was he tall? Was he short? Do I look like him? What he smell like? You know, did he dress fly? They'll pick somebody in the neighborhood and be like, my dad probably looked like him. Or my dad probably looked like him. They'll say things like on what was the name of that movie? Denzel, his first time directing. Antoine Fisher. When it was reversed. He wondered if mom was going to ever turn the corner. Like one day she's just going to come around the corner and come get me. They wonder. They miss. If this media isn't available, he starts taking cues from their mother regarding what type of man they should be. Women are naturally feminine and nurturing, and some women are more masculine than others, but men need that masculine energy in order to be men. I'm not going to go too deep into that. I'm going to let y'all fill in the blanks. I think you know where I'm going with this. So I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to say this. Thanks for tuning in to Dish with Tish Straight Talk TV. I appreciate you. We are going to come back with part 2 to this. It might be a part 2 and 3 because the article is rather lengthy. It's very interesting. And I like breaking down each point because, again, I think that we have to get to the root of healing ourselves as women before we can be the best wives, girlfriends, or mothers that we can be. When you know thyself, you're not easily flustered. And when you change your picker, you're not jumping into things. You scoping out what they Judge Maybelline, look deep before you leap. Give it some time. A man that's just there for the draws don't have a whole lot of time to waste. He ain't gonna stick around for a whole lot of time. So give it some time. You don't give him the draws, he gonna roll. Let him roll. Stop trying to hold on to people that don't want to be held on to. And don't ever, ever let a man tell you more than once he don't want to be with you. Listen to him the first time. Thanks for tuning in. Be kind to one another. We all are dealing with some things. Please continue to keep me in prayer. On any given day, I can be grieving, and that's why I haven't had the energy or desire to turn on the camera for this long. But I will say that Mom would be proud because she wanted to see class come back. And I want to see class come back too. But I also want to see my sisters heal. So this is not an attack on women. And it's not an attack on men. It's an attack on behaviors that both women and men are responsible for. So you gotta be mature to come over here. These is grown folks' perspectives. Don't come here if your mental ain't ready, because you're probably not going you're not going to like the vibration. But if you have something positive to say in the comments to encourage a lady watching that may stagger across this video, if you have something positive to say to a sister that may come across this video, drop the comments. Drop it in the comments. It could be your comment that heals a sister that you didn't even hurt. Let's uplift one another. Black men, we love you. We just want you to love us back. Stop having babies with ladies that you know you have no intentions on being with. Okay? Be kind to one another. You never know what someone else is going through. We're all going through something. Be well during this pandemic. Don't take off those masks just yet. Even if you've gotten the vaccine, that does not mean that you are free and clear. And if you've had COVID, you can catch it again. So be careful. Be well. Take care of yourself and one another. Peace.